Sounds good.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the Tattoos and Toddlers podcast. But honestly, I made this podcast for conversations, and it's not the kind of conversation where you have to have a tattoo or you have to have a toddler. Honestly, it's any business owners that are out there that want to talk about what it's like to run a business, but also have life obligations. There are so many different things that happen in our world that take our attention, and the business is definitely one of them that takes our attention, and serving our clients is another, but we also have our home life too. But today is super duper special because I want to introduce the winner to the contest that I held for the Central Florida Wedding Association Contest Summit tickets. And I put out a 2-day pass, and I pulled a winner, and it is Jessica. So, Jessica, would you please introduce yourself briefly?
Sure. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm Jessica. I go by Jess. I am a business owner of a wedding planning boutique firm here in the Central Florida area, Orlando, pretty much. I specialize in Disney inspired weddings, and we do anything from planning, coordination, and design for weddings and events, but we mostly focus on weddings. And if you look anywhere on social media, you're going to see Disney everywhere. If you can't tell, I'm a huge fan. Um, and I love to just sneak it around. That's one of my favorite things. I'm told a lot, even by my own mother, that, oh, yes, thank you, Jen.
I got the hat on.
I'm told that like Disney weddings are so tacky and childish, and it's just not appropriate for a wedding, but there's just really classy ways of doing it and just hiding it for those couples that it means something to them. I myself, my husband and I met working for Disney. Our very first day, they call orientation traditions. And as a cast member, that's like a really nostalgic and special moment to be kind of inducted into the cast member community. So we met our very first day at Traditions, and we've been together ever since. So it's kind of a really special story for us, and why we hold that theming in, close to our hearts and in our business too.
And this is what captured me meeting you and pulling your name from the winner circle here, is because I looked at your website and I was like, oh my gosh, theming obviously is a favorite of mine. Obviously, I'm Weirdo Weddings. I'm about anybody taking a theme and mixing it and twisting it and or being literal with it. I
Yeah.
love everything about creativity in that. So it's like I love that couples these days really just go all out and express who they are. And I was going to say, especially where you are located, that
Yeah.
shouldn't be frowned on at all. Like, right, you should be like completely accepted 100% that somebody's going to do a Disney
Yep.
mixed theme wedding of some sort, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. People travel for it. We're involved with some Disney fairy tale weddings too, and it's just all over the place. And not to say it's only Disney, we do a lot of
Yeah,
other things
yeah.
too, but it's just so fun when couples, they share a common interest, and their relationship is based upon board games. They play board games every night, or they go to a theme park every day, or Harry Potter is super special to them, and they want to incorporate that in telling their love story on the big day. So we really cherish that.
I love that. I love that you shared that too, because my clients this weekend, they're going to be rolling the dice to see who does the vows first, and I think that's very cute.
Oh, that's cute.
I haven't yet to have that. I've had a variety of different ceremony kinds of starts and vows and all different kinds of things, but I this will be my first dice rolling.
Yeah,
It'll be
I've had
so
that
much fun.
before. Not for vows. It was for like trying to get them to kiss during the reception, but it was a
Oh,
whole game. All the guests got really into it.
that is
And I've
way
had
too
another
cute.
one where it was themed around board games, and their favors were little miniatures of board games. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, because you probably worked as a lot of super fun themed weddings and little things that couples do that are unique to them. I'd love to hear some more stories about some of your most quirky and fun clients. Maybe you have a couple of wedding stories you could tell us about their event, how it went, something that was quirky that, or maybe even a design that was kind of neat.
Oh, sure. Well, definitely, I think one of my most quirky weddings we were talking about earlier was Cassie and Ben.
Ah,
They both work in Cirque du Soleil back over in Vegas, so they came over to Orlando for their wedding in Disney Springs at the Edison, which is a
yeah.
1920s like cabaret style restaurant, and they have live music on stage. They have all these really cool entertainment options. And we had little subtle hints of Disney. So the bride's favorite character is Peter Pan, and the groom's favorite is Star Wars. So
Oh
we
my
incorporate
gosh.
little elements of both of those, along with their steampunk themes. So everything was focused around the gear shifts of that are located and decorated around the venue. Even the bride's nails, her manicure had little gears on them.
Oh, I love it.
It was so much fun. They did stilt walkers. They had an inventor like walking around doing up close magic tricks. Um, their cake was a Gideon's cookie tower that they cut with a samurai sword.
Oh, that's
And yeah, everyone was so unique. They were all of their friends were in the show entertainment industry over in Vegas. So it was definitely a night to remember for all of these people. Um, and then another one that I had a lot of fun designing
yeah.
was my couple, Jess and Patrick. They did like a vintage celestial themed,
Mm.
including those board games I was talking about. So I got to design everything for them in like this old mansion venue that was very historic and like almost eerie a little bit. And they wanted that. Like they were really going after this fun old school approach. And then they had that same band actually, 1920 style cabaret band that played today's hits. And they just had a lot of really cool, unique elements to them that told their story and how they met and how they spend their time. It's just a lot of fun. So outside of those fun clients that I get few and far between, but I love it. My favorite things to do is style shoots. Have you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
okay. So
I
all of my
have no idea what you're talking about.
oh my gosh, Jen. Okay. Let me enlighten you because you will probably leave this conversation wanting to do one for yourself.
Well, I've
Um,
already, you know, my talk, you know what my talk is, right?
don't
At the
remember.
summit,
I don't remember. They're all blurring in my brain. Remind me.
how 19 styled shoots changed my career.
Oh,
That's why I was
Jen.
laughing. I was
Okay.
like, oh,
Okay.
I've never done one of those.
So much sarcasm that I did not know. Okay.
That's
Thank you.
fine. That's fine. I want to hear this story though, because I want to hear your perspective of something that really inspired you during a style shoot, because that's kind of what my
Yeah.
talk is about. And I want to hear your perspective on it.
Well, I haven't done 19, but
Well, of course not. No.
I did do I think my first 2 years, which I started in 2020, right when COVID hit.
Yeah.
Like my first styled shoot was the first project I ever did in Orlando once we moved here, and it was the like first week of March 2020.
Mm,
I was scrambling to find new vendors like the week before because the original team like dropped out with
yeah.
all this pandemic talk
Yep.
happening. So
Yep.
it was very stressful. But between 2020 and 2021, I think I did like 10 to 12 style shoots, and all of them were Disney themed based around what movie or character I felt fit in the venue that I was working with.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then I just picked tiny little details here and there that only a true Disney fan would recognize. Otherwise, it was just a classy, stylish wedding to anybody else. And that's like my favorite thing.
Well,
So
can I ask you, since we're on that topic of styled shoots, how was this styled shoot put together? Was it put together as an actual event, or was it like stations, or
no. So I know a lot of people, especially here, do stations and they sell tickets for multiple photographers.
yeah. Hmm.
For me, I do it as just an exclusive creative project, and I have one vendor per category. Um, we all work on the same theme, but any creatives, I let them pretty much run with it and do whatever they want, as long as it fits within the theme that we're going for and the color palette that has been decided. I give them some ideas based on what I'm thinking, but really I want them to just have fun with it and bring their own interpretation of Pirates of the Caribbean or of Cruella or whatever. And every time that I do that, it always works so, so magically.
Oh, yes, I agree.
It does. It's so much fun. So yeah, we just do all the vendors, the models. We do pretty much everything. I even include live music every chance that I get because that's important to me. As a former, my bachelor's degree is in music, Jen.
Aw. So
Yes.
you have all these definite gifts, the creative gifts are coming out of you, like for the design and for helping people get their day going and keep it organized, right?
Yep, exactly.
No, I love that. I love that you did that because it's there's a lot of things that I have to say about that, but obviously I'm going to save it for the summit because that's a
Yes,
huge part of my talk. So you'll get to nerd out with me. Hopefully, if you get to attend one of my breakouts,
I
you
for
can
sure
nerd out
will.
with
I mean,
me.
yeah.
Thankfully, I do the talks. I guess I get to do it back to back the second day. So I'm excited for that because I also do you know who Offbeat Wed is?
Yes, maybe,
Maybe.
maybe.
Big
Anyway,
blog publication.
yeah, yeah.
So I invited one of the editors out and she's actually attending that session too. So I'm just like, no pressure, no pressure at
That's
all.
amazing.
I know it's going to be
Oh, I
fun.
can't wait to hear it.
It's going to be super fun to meet her in person. I've worked with her a couple of times, but I'm always on Offbeat Wed all the time. So super
Yeah,
fun opportunities coming up for that's why I'm so excited about this summit. I mean, I've never been, but I'm already like really, really excited to get there. So let's go into the fact that you just won this, right? Like, so you said up until this point you hadn't been able to go, and this is the 6th year. So for the last 5 years, you were saying, tell me a little bit more about that.
yeah. Well, I guess I'm not going to go as far as 5 years because I've
Because
only
you
been
started 3 years
oh, that's
ago.
fine. Yeah, 3 years ago. But yeah, every year I've been aware of it and invited by the association and any vendors that I'm familiar with who are a part of it. And I've always wanted to go, I've always tried, but being a full-time business owner and still figuring out how it all works, it's just always been a challenge for me to be able to attend financially. So um, I've always had to kind of just catch up on whatever was posted on social media afterwards and get whatever info I could get from the online representation. But this year, I'm so excited that you hosted this contest and that you chose me because now I get to go. Like, I literally did everything. I have a wedding on
Yeah.
Tuesday that I was like, hey, husband, go do it. You can attend this. Especially because your breakout's on the second day. I had to
Yeah.
make sure I could go. So luckily he's my co-partner in running the business. So he's familiar with doing everything and was willing to take this wedding off my hands so that I can attend. So
Well,
I'm
I'm
like,
loving that because, the looking at the lineup, even for myself, gonna be really selfish for a second because I'm looking forward to it because I'm gonna sit in all the classes, like as many as
yeah,
possible, because I'm always taking notes on what I'm gonna do. So I'm super excited to learn a lot as well. And then this being your first time, I'll be so curious to see how you enjoy it. Again, this is my first time, so I'm really excited. And I know a couple of people there already. But,
right.
and I actually have a friend of mine's working on flying out, who's actually been a huge part of my styled shoots, which is why I really wanted her there. Cause I was like,
Okay.
girl, you're like the whole reason I started some of this stuff is because of her
That's
need
awesome.
and desire and creativity. Right. So, I think it turns out that she finally did get a ticket for Tuesday. So, cause they were selling out. I don't know if you
Yeah,
saw that, but they sold out.
I
So,
saw. I couldn't believe it,
OMG.
but yay me. I get to go.
So I'm so excited for you. Is there anything in particular? I know it's a whirlwind right now because there's so much going on, and we are less than a week away when you're hearing this podcast message. We're less than a week away. Have you been able to look at the keynote speakers and the breakout sessions to see what things are stirring you up right now in your business and where you kind of want to go with your business? Are you kind of like you have some ideas of what you want to do when you get there?
I have some ideas, but I think I need to regroup and try to plan it out those breakout sessions a little better. I definitely will be going to yours because style shoots are my favorite thing to
Well,
do.
I
And
was going to say, if anything, when I have questions, answers, and comments, you're going to be like the person that's going to add to the conversation, I'm pretty sure.
I'd be happy to, but honestly, I'm looking forward to it mostly for that spark again, because
Yeah.
I haven't done a style shoot in over a year, and I didn't do any last year. I was too bombarded with real weddings and
Yeah.
clients, so I did not have the time or energy to actually put together a style shoot last year, and I still haven't done one this year either. And it's just, I feel it. I feel it just pulling the life out of me. I need to do something creative again and just showcase my interpretation of doing XYZ theme for your wedding. And that's what really keeps me going. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited to hear.
Isn't that great though? That's why I love creativity. And I never thought, as I'm an artist, I pretty much just call myself an artist anyway, because I am, but it's like, I never thought I would do this kind of stuff in the wedding industry. I didn't even think it was possible. I got married in
Yeah.
2005 and I did a Blue Man theme wedding. So I had a Blue Man group theme wedding. So
No, you did
I
not.
was
That's
doing it before it was
amazing.
cool.
Oh,
Apparently.
wow.
No,
That's
just
awesome.
kidding. But that was 18 years ago. That was 18 years ago. And I was this quirky little person that says, you know what? I want Blue Man in my wedding and I will make it happen. My husband did not care. He's just like,
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm like, I'm doing all those little details you were talking about that
Yeah.
only Blue Man fans would know. That's what I did in my wedding too, because I had a handful of my Blue Man family show up too. So I was like, when you nerd out with other things, you have other nerds to nerd out with things
Yeah.
about. It's like you all end up having this really fun community, which is kind of really why I'm excited to meet the Central Florida community, because everybody just seems like it's so much fun. And so like, I've never been so happily been welcomed into a place to be weird, like my code to take the $20 off was Weirdo. And I was so excited.
I love that. That's awesome.
But I'll
Yeah.
be really excited to hear more for you after after this. I keep wanting to say convention and conference, but after the summit, I'll
Yeah.
be curious to see what shifted for you. And maybe we do an after interview too, because I'd be curious to see what your takeaways were going to be or are once the
Sure.
summit's over. Cause there's going to be a lot. Like I'm already like, I know I'm just like, I'm taking it all in. Like, what am I
Yeah.
going to learn? What am I going to do? Who
I
am I
I
going to
know
meet? Like,
I'm a little overwhelmed just looking at the schedule for the day and like trying to make sure I've got my iPad ready to take all the notes and like much
yes.
am I gonna actually absorb all of this? Do I need to be recording it? Like
Yes.
stressed out, but in the best
And
way.
I think we all do what works best for us, right? We all do whatever note taking, whatever. A lot of people say the aha moments, whatever. I love it. I always bring a pen and a pen and a probably a little notebook. I might even go buy a special notebook for this.
Mhm.
Just because I feel like every time I have a convention or a summit that is so niched into what my passion is, I feel like I just need to have one little book for it.
Yeah, I
And I
get that.
might do that. I might just go to the dollar store and say, "Hey, I just need this fun little book for just for Central Florida," and then I have another convention at the end of the month, and end of, yeah, like literally the end of this month. Um, and I'll be like, "Well, that's more of my artistic fine art side, and I'll have a lot more things to do with that as well." And so you just never know. So get ready. It's going to be super fun.
I'm
Um,
ready.
I'm already like, okay, what's this flamingo party? Like the flamingo party on Monday. There's another extra thing happening on Sunday that I'm looking at with Offbeat Wed. So it's like they're doing some kind of other thing. So I was like, I'm gonna try to get with them, and then I'm gonna get there on Sunday, of course. But then I'm gonna be there all day Monday with everybody. I'm gonna be there all day Tuesday, and I'm gonna cross my fingers that all of my slides and all of my technology works, and
Yeah.
that none of my flights are delayed.
Oh my gosh, yes. Fingers crossed. I think we should be fine in terms of hurricanes,
I
but
I do think so. I think we're gonna be all right.
yeah.
I was feeling
Uh,
really good, like not
you
anxious.
you need to introduce me to your offbeat wed person if
Oh,
I may
really?
add in there. I was featured twice, same wedding, but twice. And
Mhm.
I would love to just put a face to the name and say hello.
Yeah, hopefully I'll have time and a brain to think about it. And if I
Yeah.
don't, then just tap me on the shoulder because I may forget. It's because when you get there and you're like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
very
unless you
much.
write it down, it doesn't exist or it's not on the calendar. So please do remind me if I do forget. So as we are wrapping up our talk here, I'm so excited to meet you in person. And I'm also excited that you are excited about the style shoots because not everybody agrees. I'm sure you know this, that not everybody agrees that style shoots are good or style shoots are
Yep,
beneficial.
yep.
But for me, they were life-changing. So I cannot wait to expand into that. It's going to be super fun to talk about. And I really look forward to learning from other people too while we're there, just on their perspectives. I always learn from other people's perspectives. And I have taken a short break from style shoots because I'm not a wedding planner. That's the problem. I'm a photographer and I have all these great ideas, but I still have to end up doing all the work when
Yeah,
I'm planning it, right? So because it's
it's
like,
very different.
yeah, so it's different if you are a planner, which you
Yep,
are,
yep,
versus me. I have to plan it, to shoot it, to photograph it. And then I'm like,
right.
it's back and forth. I keep putting on all these hats and I'm like, I just want to show up and have it already ready. That would be
Yeah, I
so great.
agree. That's why, having vendor friends, planner friends who
Yeah.
are like-minded and just can take your idea and run with it. That's
Yeah, I
something.
have a feeling I'm gonna have to make another trip out to that area because I think you and I would have so much fun together working on a concept.
Yeah, that would be good.
So, but anyway, as we start to wrap up, I'm so excited that you are coming. I'm so excited that this is your first time. This is my first time. I am excited that we are both excited to be there because we're going to learn a lot. I cannot wait to just sit and just, like you said, take a whole bunch of notes. Is there anything that we want to leave people with today as they're listening to this, as a creative or as a wedding pro? What would we leave with them today to inspire them to like either pick up and go invest in either their education or invest in creative time? What should we leave with them today?
Uh, you put me on the spot there, Jen.
I know that's my
Um,
job.
I would say just to do it. Just do it and do exactly what you want to do the way you want to do it. It was told to me so many times when starting this venture, you shouldn't be pursuing a full-time business. You shouldn't be an entrepreneur. It's too risky. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know anybody in the market. Like I had literally just moved to Orlando and was
Yeah.
starting from scratch. So there were just so many people in my life that were telling me not to do it and reasons why not to do it. And I didn't feel like I could actually be successful in pursuing it unless I just went all in. So having my husband in my corner actually supporting that and being okay with me taking that plunge really changed my whole life. And here we are full time. He's full time with me as well 3 years later. So it's just you just have to trust your gut. That's my
You know what?
takeaway.
And that is more than enough that we can leave everybody with that today because it takes guts to step out and do something crazy like this, and especially being a business owner versus working for somebody else.
Yeah.
So, thank you for leaving us with something to think about, especially for some of y'all listening that really maybe you need to take your brand in another direction. Maybe you need to start something new that you've already been doing for like me. I was already a photographer for many, 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 many years. And then I decided to do something new. I'm actually doing two new things, but I'll let y'all in on that on another conversation.
Okay.
So, well, the second new thing is that I'm becoming a speaker. So,
Hey, I think you're
durr.
headed in the
So
right
it's like,
direction.
yeah, it's kind of a thing. But yeah, it's all about embracing who you are and then just running out into the world with who you are and just doing your thing. So, as we wrap up, I will see you on the next episode. So thank you, Jessica, for joining me. Or Jess,
Thank
sorry.
you. No, it's
I'm
okay.
Jen. I'm Jen, but not Jennifer, and you're Jess, not Jessica.
Thank you so much, Jen. I'm really excited to be here and can't wait to meet you in person on
I
Monday.
know. Almost there. I'll see you soon. All right. Bye, everybody, for now.